heads for home with a long kick towards Wynd, and he takes the mark.
Wynd. Liberatore working hard, gets it to Wynd.
Wynd, front spot. Giddy's kicks towards Wynd on centre wing. Wants to go on with the job.
Well, this is an important kick.
This is a must goal. The Brownlow medalist has snuck it home. Wynd gets his first. This could result in a goal to Wynd in the square, and he pops it through.
Welcome back to EMT. For a bloke who just about did everything in football, Scott Wynd has kept a pretty low profile, and boy, has he got a story to tell, reluctantly, but we'll try and get a bit of it out of him tonight. And Scott, welcome aboard, mate.
Thanks, Eddie.
You're the ultimate Broady boy who made good.
Oh, I think I'm a long way behind you.
No, I think it might be just ahead of Carl Williams, but but let's go through it. I mean, in no particular order. Bulldog captain, Team of the Century player, Hall of Fame member, Brownlow medalist, and in recent times, you and Glenn Coleman, a former teammate, have built up a fantastic business that you sold in recent times for, according to some, for about $25 million, and stood out of the business for 2 years and have rebuilt another business up in the same area, and it's worth arguably more again. Forgetting the money, it's just a fantastic story to see somebody of your credentials go on in the business world. How have you been able to do all that for a boy from Broady who they forgot the birth date on his North Melbourne registration?
Yeah, supposedly that's the story. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah. Look, it was always a passion once I finished football to get into my own business in some way. Worked in the industry, in the waste industry, for 7 odd years.
Tell us what is the waste industry?
Most people know the cleanaways of the world, and Veolia and Colex and all that, and they're the industrial bins that are on site on all the industrial sites and commercial sites around Melbourne, Australia, whatever. Everyone's got rubbish. So we try and help them pick them up, and as I say to people, the job's talking rubbish to people. So look, it was just an opportunity came along. Glenn and I put the houses on the line once footy had finished and said, okay, we're going to have a go at this, and you know, a small little factory warehouse in Brayside, and just built from there. And yeah, we're lucky enough. I don't know if those figures are too correct, but they sound good. But yeah, built it up, sold it, and stayed out for our 2 years and got back in. And yeah, it's hard work. Consider myself very lucky to have have a good partner and fantastic staff. But yeah, it's hard work knocking on doors every day. Yeah,
but it's a great effort because you started it from scratch basically, and then within 12 months you had to go to new premises, I understand, and build it through, and then coming back in again and doing it again. How many people are working for you these days?
Look, we've got about 8 drivers. There's probably 5 or 6 office staff, the girls in the office, a bookkeeper, got a couple of reps on the road along with myself, and Glenn's the godfather figure. He sits in the office there and points and makes sure everything's running correctly. But yeah, look, it's hard work. To go out there and knock on a door and try and sell something to someone when you potentially haven't got a truck when you first start, and you've got no bins, and for us it was, you know, very hard to do it the first time, a little bit easier the second time because you had the bit more security financially. But look, it's an industry I enjoy, and I do really have the passion to have our own businesses. And
where did that drive come from on the business side of things? Did you look at somebody like a Lindsay Fox who started with one truck, or were there people around the Bulldogs, David Smorgan, these types of people that motivated you? Or was
yeah, look, it's purely family. My parents, especially my father, or was involved in businesses his whole life. Had me working in there from the age of 8.
What businesses were you in?
Oh, various ones. There was a company called the French Bakehouse many years ago that ended up going bust and causing the family a fair bit of grief. And basically the old man came back to Melbourne with tail between his legs and not a dollar in the bank. And again, he built up other businesses and started. And you know, he's still in business with my brother. And look, I just saw how much work had to go into it, but also saw the rewards as well. And you know, it wasn't something I wanted to. Football wasn't something I wanted to carry on and be permanent as in regards to coaching or assistance or being involved. It was good to help out the Bulldogs, but I just enjoyed the business side of things.
Now, Dad was Gary. He played a couple of games for Melbourne.
Yeah. We remind him of that.
He's 177 centimetres, is that right?
Yeah.
What's that? That's about 5'8".
I'm trying to figure out the post.
5'9", 5'10" in the old days.
I don't know. No, look, it's luckily on the mum's side there's a few tall ones.
And your brother Paul played for North Melbourne, a couple of 3 games.
Only 3 games, but it was one more than the old man, so that makes him happy.
So he's happy with that. So what happened to you? Tell me the jump from Jacana, the famous Jacana Football Club, where guys like Bruce Dool, of course, came from, and Jose Romero, and Corey McKernan was playing down that way as well.
West Meadows, Rossi Smith.
Rossi Smith, of course. So it was a big North Melbourne area, right next to Broady there. And you ended up with the Bulldogs. What happened?
Look, I had a surprise, a few injuries during the younger years. I don't think I played a full season between probably 12 and 16. I had 2 knee operations as a young kid, and from the age of 16, I suppose, sprouted a little bit, and was a North Melbourne zone. But once you were 18, I never played Teal Cup or anything like that, but once you're 18, you were a free agent. Back in those days, the zone no longer applied to you. So had a little bit of interest from a few other clubs, and you know, the Bulldogs, I saw an opportunity at the Bulldogs at the time. Andrew Purser had just gone back to Perth, and I thought, well, this is me.
No thought of going to North? As it turned out, you missed a pretty good era down there at North.
Yeah, look, Dennis Pagan did come and speak to me, who was an under-19s coach at the time, and as you know, he's pretty intimidating.
He's intimidating, yeah.
And a few of the other boys had come back with their tail between their legs back down to Jacana, and look, I just saw an opportunity. The Bulldogs were the club that actually offered me to train with the seniors, and I went on a pre-season camp with them. I'd actually done a couple of sessions with Richmond under-19s as well, and been down to Melbourne to get a weights program through those guys during the pre-season. So it was, I just saw the opportunity with the Bulldogs, and look, I wouldn't change anything. I consider myself really lucky to achieve what I have, and you know, I have the Bulldogs to thank for that. The
Brownlow Medal night, a couple of years after Libba had won his. You're over. You've won it in '92.
Yep.
What a night for you! And you know, the shot of you. I think we saw it in when we rolled the opener there. You're up there without your jacket on, and you're almost looking as if, is this really happening?
2 years ago, I sat in the lounge room watching Libba get the Brownlow, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great to actually able to go to the Brownlow Medal and sit there? And that was, you know, the boyhood idol, the boyhood dream for me was to get there. And a year later I went when Jimmy Steins won it, and then 2 years later I'd walk into the Southern Cross as a favourite. We'd been beaten in the preliminary final. Hadn't had much sleep for about 3 days. Was at the pub till about 3 o'clock and thought, geez, we better get home here and go and get changed and have a bit of a shower, and didn't go there with any expectations, and in all honesty, I haven't watched the Brownlow speech or anything like that too often, because I can't remember what I said. All I wanted to do was get off that stage very, very quickly, because it was it's just very daunting.
Have you had a moment to sit back and think, well, I am a Brownlow medalist? When you go to the Brownlow and they call all the champions and names come out, I mean, you stand strongly amongst any of them.
Oh, look, it's. Thank you for saying that, but it's, in my eyes, you know, you look at the other guys, and to me, it's. I don't.
Well,
it's.
I beg to differ. I mean, 237 games. As I said, Bulldog captain, team of the century, Hall of Fame, Brownlow medalist. It's a pretty good CV.
Yeah, but you look at the guys up there, Bobby Skilton and people like that, who are guys who you idolise. You know, and Gary Dempsey, of course, because if I don't mention Dempsey, he'll get stuck into me. But you know, it was a fantastic year for myself, fantastic for the club. You know, I look at it that I think it won with 20 votes. A couple of years later, when I think Diesel won, I don't think I would have finished, you know, in the top 5. Or, you know, even Jimmy Steins. You've got to have the right year at the right time, and look, it's a great honour. I'm not going to knock it back, mate.
No, well, you're a pretty lucky bloke. I mean, you worked hard at your football. As they say, the harder you work, the luckier you get. You worked hard at your football, you've worked hard at your business. You've gone into greyhound racing. Now, Luke Darcy, my colleague on Triple M's Hot Breakfast, says it's as much because even though you've got money, you won't get in the thoroughbreds because you're too tight. Is that right? Or
look, Darcy shouldn't be the one throwing stones, Darcy. I mean, he gets his family to run his pubs and make him a hell of a lot of money, and he just sits back and counts it as far as I'm concerned.
Now, we saw you with Jody there, and that dog, Jess Umbridge, was the greyhound of the year. You go into greyhound racing, and you have the greyhound of the year
at Healesville. Yeah. It was the first greyhound we bought. We, as a family, we set up on a Saturday night.
You got 4 girls, yeah.
4 girls, and we have a bit of fun. The 5-year-old picks her dog out, and we put them in have a little bet on them, and we said, well, let's buy one. And we bought one, and unfortunately it broke its stopper bone just prior to starting to run, and it was either get the bullet or let's see how it goes. And it only runs up the straight at Healesville, and look, the trainer, Joyce Condon and Dave have done a fantastic job with it, and just got lucky, didn't we?
Yeah. And you bought another one. And now, tell me the name of this new one that you've bought that is tipped to be a superstar.
Well, we're hopeful. We bought it after one race. It ran third, and the trainer rang me up. Dave said, look, there's one problem. I reckon it's quick, and I reckon it's got pace and all this, but it's called Premier Magpie.
Premier Magpie.
Premier Magpie, which is going to be interesting if it wins a few races.
Can I buy a leg in this?
But he's been with us for about 3-4 weeks now. It's had 4 starts for 3 wins, so it goes okay.
Can I get a shot of you saying go Maggies?
Go Pies.
Go Pies when it runs.
Go Premier Magpie.
You're coaching at Assumption College now. Took over from the great Ray Carroll. Your kids are up there as well. Dar says you're doing it because you get the cheaper school fees. Is that right? Or, no, but taking over and getting back into footy. I spoke to Hurdy before. Once it's in the blood, it's hard to get rid of it. You've stepped away for a while there. Any thoughts of maybe coming back to the Bulldogs? David Smorgan said that he'll finish up next year. They're probably looking for somebody with a bit of stature and a bit of business wherewithal. Would you ever consider getting involved with the Bulldogs as president?
Look, to be involved, whether it's president or board level, you've got to have massive commitment. As you know, it's not a job that should be taken lightly, and for me and Dave and I have spoken about different things. For me to give that sort of commitment, I'd have to have a hell of a lot more time than what I'd have now. I enjoy the football. I enjoy watching the Bulldogs play, and I'm still a big supporter. And I enjoy my little bit that I do with Assumption College. But it's such a commitment nowadays. To get back involved in whether it's coaching or ruck coaching or on a board level, it's just a massive commitment. And my family's important, my business is important, and look, I really enjoy what I do now, which coaching the kids at Assumption. They're a great bunch of kids that I've been involved for 5 years. I've helped Ray for 4, Ray Carroll, and while we haven't had as many wins as we would have liked this year, that's enough for me, mate.
One final one. When you look back on it all, what was the great thing about playing footy?
Look, I was a shy kid coming from Jakarta. I went down, had a crack at it, with a lot of, I suppose, friends who I grew up with, maybe just as talented, maybe more, sort of got sidetracked. And to give me the opportunities that playing AFL has given me is just, I can never thank the Bulldogs enough for what they've done. You look around and I see Chris Grant on the board now. Chris Grant coming to the club as a 17-year-old who was quieter than I was. Yeah. He is now on the board at the Bulldogs. You've got Simon Garlick, who came from Sydney, is now CEO of the club. It just develops people. And, to be able to, give me that and a foot up in life, not only financially, but as the person I am, that's the biggest bonus. And look, the honour of being captain of that club as well is something that, to a certain degree, I hold as high, if not higher, than the Brownlow, because it's something I'm very proud of to captain them for as long as I did.
Good on you, mate. It's a great story. Not only your football career, it's great that you're doing so well with your old teammate Galaxy Coleman there in the business world, and everything else that's going for in the family.
Well, he said he won me my Brownlow. Now he's making me successful.
Well, there you go.
So it's all about him.
Good on you, mate. Scott, thanks very much for joining us on EMT. Scott Wynd, one of the great success stories in